Good evening, this is James, Alpha Echo 6, Juliet Golf, your net control operator for the River City ARC Slow Scan TV Net. The net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on the N6NA repeater on 441.30 megahertz. River City ARC's members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to join us. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact net control by saying break, break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I'll recognize each station before continuing. Any station who wishes to check in to the net, please come now.
November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec.
Kilo Papa 4, Mike Delta.
November 6, Whiskey Lima, Mike.
Alpha India 6, Delta Golf.
November Romeo 6, Hotel, Anderson Folsom.
N6PGQ and KP4MD, N6WLM, AI6DG, and NR6H. Anyone else want to check in tonight? All right, Bob, N6PGQ, are you ready to share an image?
Oh, sure. I didn't know I was going to be first, but this is PD 120.
Well, Bob, you're back to your analog mode, which I really like, N6PGQ. Thanks. This is AE6JG. Carol, KP4MD. Do you see Bob's image and any comments? Carol, KP4MD.
Okay, KP4MD. I think I'm doing it now. I forgot to click a button here. Yeah, I copied quite well. It looks like looks kind of like an old box camera, like the old Brownie camera I have, but this is different. The one on the right says Yoshida, something like Yoshida A. Old-fashioned box camera there with the regular lens on the bottom there. Oh my gosh, am I getting through? Okay, I don't know what's going on. I think I need to raise my volume a little bit here.
Sounds like you're having trouble holding the repeater, and you're quiet. I don't know if you copied that.
Okay, yeah. Why don't you go to the next person then?
Copy. Yeah, not holding the repeater, and it's very hard to hear. Very low modulation, quiet. Okay, Bill, N6WLM. Comments on Bob's image.
Yes, this is November 6th, Whiskey Lima Mike, Bill in Roseville. Yeah, it looks like two analog 35 millimeter film cameras. Yeah, one look like different models. So one looks larger than the other on the right, and I think maybe those might be flash bulbs on top. I'm not sure. There's quite a few pixel pops on my side, but I'm probably pointing my Yagi the wrong direction. Yeah, interesting photo. I'm excited to hear more about it. N6WLM, back to that.
Thanks, Bill. Joel, AI6DG.
Nice planked wooden table surface, nice looking wood. A couple of twin lens reflex cameras. Those take 120 film, not 35 millimeter. Can't really tell what quality, because the one on the Shikon Yoshinko-A on the right looks nice. The one on the left mirror may not be of a medium or high-end camera, or low-end, hard to tell. And they still make 120 film. I don't know if they still make twin lens reflex cameras. Well, I think there's some really cheap plastic models made just so that someone can buy and a camera. 120 is an interesting format. It's a much larger format than 35 millimeter. So I think there's some people that are retroing with cameras and having fun processing film and doing contact prints. Back to Net, AI6DG.
Thanks, Joel. Anders, NR6H, good evening.
Good evening, and yeah, got a good picture here. Like Joel said, not much to add. I see the very distinct Leica logo on the left camera there, so that's the red dot. Yeah, the 120, both of them I assume are 120 millimeter cameras. So yeah, I had something like this when I was a kid, and then it disappeared when I moved to the U.S. So don't know where that went. Probably on my parents' attic somewhere, and when they moved from the house, that disappeared in another level. So, but yeah, interested to hear what the status is of these, if they still work, if you're still using them, and what's going on with them. NR6H, back to Net.
Thanks, Anders. This is AE6JG. Okay, Bob, N6PGQ. I do also have a lot of pixel pops, but the images came through well. My father, who was a professional photographer early in his career, had one of these, but I don't remember which brand it is. I think my sister has it now. All right, Bob, go ahead.
Okay, well, retro is in. If you look at prices on eBay or places like that, old film cameras and old digital cameras have gone crazy in desire and price. People like the not very sharp look. So getting to the picture, these are both twin lens reflex cameras. Reflex meaning you're looking through a lens, and both of them have a mirror at a 45-degree angle behind the top lens, and you look down into the viewfinder to compose your picture. I'll let this break.
I'm K6VK, joining the net late.
Okay, welcome. I'm telling my story. The one on the left is a Kodak camera. It is a Kodak Duo Flex. The logo at the top, the red one, if you can see it, if there's any detail at all, says Kodak in it. And it is a fixed focus lens camera, and you're basically using the top lens as a viewfinder and a way to compose your picture. The right camera is the first camera I bought with my own money. It is a Yashica A, and it was made up until, the real early 1960s. The retail price for that camera was $35. And I looked on eBay this afternoon to see if they had any, and they were for sale. And some moron has one for sale for $250. Maybe I should put mine up for sale. I'm going to continue. These cameras were designed and made at the turn of the last century, and it was a way so that you could focus the camera because both lenses are on the same lens board, and as you move the lens closer and farther away from the film, you can tell the focus by looking through the viewfinder. The camera on the left is a camera that uses 127 size film, and the one on the right is a 120. So there they are, analog again, N6 PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. Excellent. Any questions for Bob? All right, I want to welcome Kelly, K6ZK. Good evening, Kelly. And on YouTube, we have K6VDU, Kilo 6 Victor Delta Uniform. Nelson watching, and Jen, Kilo India 1, Tango Tango Yankee. I think Wilson is listening, and Alf, KN6PRD. So we have some viewers online as well. All right, Carol, KP4MD, it's your turn to transmit an image if you're ready.
Yeah, okay, this is KP4MD. I'm really sorry. I didn't have the microphone plugged in, but it's good now. Okay, this would be PD120.
Freeform D AE6JG. I got good copy with Pixel Pops. The break in the weather was perfectly timed. That's all I can say. Bill, N6WLM, comments on Carol's photo.
This is November 6th, Whiskey Lima Mike, Bill in Roseville. Yeah, this is a good photo. It turned out really well on my side. Some pixel pops, but very readable still. The ID at the top was perfect, as James was saying, to just border your top header there. Yeah, I see a couple people, a person in the foreground wearing a safety vest. There's a guy off the left wearing one also. In the back, I see, I think, some kind of antenna. I know what it is. So yeah, this is the Loomis Ham Festival. It was a great time by all. I had a fun time. I was there. I ran into a couple people. Yeah, and I think in the back there's that antenna that AI6US was using for the coffee net. There's a couple of booths in front of us here. One has a red banner, and I think the one to the left was a test booth, and then the far right gazebo was where Carol set up, I think, for the ARRL information. So yeah, it was a fun time. I had fun at the Ham Festival. I look forward to the next one. And 6WL, back to that.
Thanks, Bill. Joel, AI6DG.
Just demonstrates the beautiful weather that the swap had. Yeah, the test table at the left. As the sign says, Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club in the center, and the RL booth on the right. And even more to the right of that was the coffee and donuts and drawing prizes and ticket purchase with the rural station in the background, and it's nice. All of that's nicely surrounded by the cherry blossoms, the trees with cherry blossoms coming off and falling down over the course of the day. That was nice. And there was an interesting, right at the bottom of the banner on top, there was an interesting burst of noise. So I've got a bar of maybe 5 pixels tall of just random noise, which was kind of interesting. Fun day. Back to net, AI6DG. Oh, wait a minute, one more thing. 35, what we're calling 35 millimeter film is the number for it is 135. So just like 35 millimeter film, 135 film isn't 135 millimeters. So just 120 film is not 120 millimeters. 35 millimeter film is 36. The exposure frame is 36 by 24 millimeters. 120 film, it's 61 millimeters squared, so it's a square format, and not rectangular like 35 millimeter. Back to net, AI6DG.
N6KEN.
GQ used to be called 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 when Eastman Kodak made it. N6PGQ.
N6KEN.
N6KEN, I got you on the list. All right, thanks, Joel. This is AE6JG. Anders, NR6H.
Good reception. Like Joel said, I got that burst also just under the top banner. Perfectly timed, though, so that was good. And then, yeah, I spent my this day on Highway 15, 58, and 99, so I did not attend the Loomis Hamfest. But I do recognize the train depot there on the right, and can't really make out the people, though, but I see that there are at least 3 yellow jackets there. But other than that, good picture, blooming trees, a bunch of pixel pops spread evenly across the picture, but not enough for me not to see what's there, obviously. So, yeah, good to hear that everybody had a good time. NR6H, back to net.
Thanks, Anders. I was traveling on the same road you were. Kelly, K6ZK.
Yeah, great transmission. A couple pixel pops at the parking lot there, actually, where the cars were parked. But I missed Loomis also. I wasn't able to attend because of a Another thing that we're doing, but anyway, great transmission. The trees obviously all in bloom. I guess those are cherry trees, and I see the pop-ups and whatever for the basic ham fest there. It's a great photo, and I wish I could attend. I'm sorry I couldn't, but anyway, obviously it looks like a clear sky for a change. Hi. And that's all I can see on this. Actually, this one came very, very clear. K6CK, clear.
AE6JG. Ken, N6KEN, did you get the transmission? Were you here in time?
Yeah, Roger, this is N6KEN. Yeah, I got to the net at 4 past the hour, but yeah, I've been trying to break in gently and finally made it through. So thanks for adding me to the net.
AL7HQR.
Hi, Neil. Go ahead.
Nothing. Just letting you know that I finally managed to make it in here. I don't know if there will be time for for a picture from me. If there is, no problem at all. I just want to let you know that I'm here. Thank you.
Thanks. We have a long list tonight, so I'm going to move faster than normal so we can get everybody in, so we don't go too late. So I'm going to just move to Bill now, N6WLM, and ask Bill, are you ready to share a photo?
I am ready. Yep, this will be PD120, N6WLM.
N6WLM, AE6JG. It looks like you are really busy. Anders, NR6H. Why don't you comment on Bill's picture?
So I got a good picture received here. It looks like we're looking down on a carpet with stuff. And my long shot guess here is that this is loot from Loomis. It looks like stuff that you could buy on a hamfest. It's some kind of weather radio out on the left there. Can't really see what that roll of something flat is above it. Something brown and round. Not sure what that is. Got a bunch of coax cables, couple of coax switches, a Ziploc-ish bag with something, maybe a cup holder. Could that be it in there? Some ferrites, ferrite rings down in the bottom there, a bunch of little terminal connector or adapters, a little power cable, a heat sink, and a radio up top. Can't really see which one, but it's definitely a transceiver, I think. And then an interesting looking band chart. So yeah, we'll see what this is. And R6H, back to net.
Thanks, Anders. Neil, KL7HQR, comments on this image from Bill.
Very good, very, very, very good copy here. No problem whatsoever. I think he covers it very well. I thought it was some kind of an antenna build project in there, but I think he puts it in the Loomis perspective, and that sounds good. And by the way, I understand the number of participants today. Thank goodness it's long, so don't worry about me as far as sending pictures. Back to net.
I think my strategy, everybody, is to cut the comments down to 2 or 3 of us instead of having all 10 of us comment on each photo and then move things along. So, Joel, you're going to be next. I'm going to ask for one more comment on this photo from Ken, N6KEN, and then Joel, AI6DG, will be your turn to share an image. Ken, go ahead. Comments on Bill's photo.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's probably a good loot that you picked up. Looks like a lot of good connectors. Never going to have enough connectors. And an icon band plan. Back to net, N6KEN.
Where Bill was standing outside HRO pickpocketing people as they came out. Bill, tell us about this photo.
This is November 6th, Whiskey Lima Mike, Bill, and Rosal. Yep, Anders got it perfectly right. This is my loot from the Loomis Ham Festival. So, yeah, I had a great time there, and I didn't spend more than $100 for all this junk you see in front of you. So I think I did pretty well. Just real quick, so the thing on the far left, the circle, is actually a copper-clad ground thing, so I could finally ground my station properly. And then, yeah, pretty much you got everything else right. The thing on the left, the heatsink, is actually dummy load for my friend. He couldn't make it to the Ham Festival. And, yeah, the ferrets are for some NFEDs I want to make, some coax, great. And then the big purchase was the mobile rig up top. That's an IC 2330A. Is a dual band, full duplex radio, and it does 2 meters and 220. 1.25 meters, so I could finally do the 1.25 simplex net that Steve always throws on, and I just need to put an antenna in the air. Oh, and there's also a mobile antenna in there that kind of goes off the screen, and then there's a whip that is actually a whip from a Yaesu, an 817. I got that for $1, so I could use it on my 857 when I'm doing photoing and all that stuff. So yeah, I had a fun time. I went with my XYL Kaylee K6KAY and my buddy T K6TIN. We had a great time, and I look forward to any ham festival because I have a lot that I need since I'm a new ham, and it was fun. N6WLM, back to net.
N6WLM AE6JG. Thanks. Okay, Joel, AI6DG, your turn to send an image. We got that's a lot better.
Was there tone?
There was tone. Do it one more time. I got a tone. It sounds a little off, but why don't you try to transmit?
I do a 1000 tone, not whatever everyone else is doing. Anyway, here we go. PD 120.
N6NA AE6JG, I got a very interesting photo coming through. I'm going to ask Bob N6PGQ to comment first.
Well, I'll go real fast. Looks like some pier damage, and the ocean waters are fairly strong, and it looks like they took out a pier. You can see some of the supports are still there, but not much. It'd be interesting to hear AI6DG, N6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. Carol, KP4MD.
I just have too many buttons to push here. Okay. This is KP4MD. Yeah, good copy picture. You could see it on YouTube, what I received. And it looks like a pier going out over some rocks on maybe at the ocean or in a lake. And looks like there's some just it's old wood or perhaps some damage being done there. But the picture is pretty darn clear. I had a little problem with the slant at the beginning, but I had to. I know the computer clock has to be the adjustment for the computer clock on this computer hasn't been set, so I had to do the auto slant adjustment. And by the way, KD6GMD on YouTube chat says that he has a picture for us. I don't know if you noticed that, James. Back to you. Over.
Thanks, Carol. Hi, Larry. Kilo Delta 6, Golf Mike Delta. Yeah, I have you on the list. So thanks for watching us on YouTube. All right, one more comment on Joel's photo from, let's let Kelly comment, K6ZK. Kelly, go ahead.
Yeah, the call sign is K6ZK. Interesting, but obviously I can see the ocean down there and the rocks, whatever. I'm not sure what that structure is that dropped down there as part of a bridge structure, or you should call it a pier, but it's obviously wreckage that's dropped down there. Very interesting photo, and I'd love to hear the history of this too. Toward the left, I see a lot of rusted structure that's obviously been there for some time, and then the whitish structure itself is, it's not a road, it's not a bridge, but it's clearly debris, and whether it's washed ashore from this last storm, I have no idea. But anyway, by the way, great photo. I see no pixel pops at all. So anyway, that's my comments on that. Over to you.
Thanks, Kelly. Joel, AI6DG, tell us about it.
Marin headlands, not from any recent storms, so this is 5 or 10 years old. Most of the Marin headlands is pretty desolate. It's pretty steep, and it goes straight down to the ocean. And probably until 40, 50 years ago, is probably off limits. It was all military. There's a bunch of land around the San Francisco Bay Area that was military use and was off limits to the public. And I think the whole Marin Headlands was like that during World War II, which is what I would guess this dates back to, because you can drive out there now, and it's a nice place with lots of nice views, and there's a lighthouse out at the point. And this was, I believe, along the coast during walking out towards the lighthouse. And this was a pier on Oceanside. There's probably two piers. The rusted structure on the left is actually train tracks. And whatever pier those tracks were supposed to rest on is long gone. In fact, it looks like there were two tracks with a cross junction, so that you could cross between the two tracks. And my guess would be that this dates back to World War II and was in support of military stuff going on out there. Perhaps the very large artillery gun emplacements that they had placed out there to protect the Bay Area from invasion. Those tracks were supposed to rest on is long gone. In fact, it looks like there were two tracks with a cross junction, so that you could cross between the two tracks, triangulate, and report to the guns where to shoot. Should someone be crazy enough to try to invade. Back to net AI6DG.
AI6DG, AE6JG. Thanks, Joel. Anders, NR6H, are you ready to share an image?
I shall give it a try. Here comes PD 120.
A good copy, Anders. Neil, KL7HQR. Comments?
A very, very good copy. It looks like, appears to be a bar, and with lots of patrons around, and it still amazes me that he can put the words and his text as part of the picture. That's pretty good. But it looks like a big bar with a big candelabra in the middle and quite a few patrons around. We're starting. I thought it was going to be something about a convention or a ham swap, but I believe it's liquid ham radio activities. Back to that.
Thanks, Neil. Ken, N6KEN. Comments?
Yeah, N6KEN. Yeah, well, I have a question. I need to know what 230322 signifies. Back to that.
Anders, 230322. What does that mean?
2023, March 22nd.
It's the European style, and it's upside down. Ken, any other comments?
No, now I feel dumb. Yeah, I should have picked that one up.
Anders, tell us about the photo.
So I spent the week in Las Vegas at the ConExpo trade show, and this is from the inside of one of the casinos, which happens to be one of my kind of favorite bars. This is inside of the Cosmopolitan, which is kind of halfway on the strip, and it is an interesting bar in that it is inside of a chandelier, pretty much. It's called a chandelier bar, and the whole bar and two other bars are inside of a giant chandelier. It's actually 3 stories. The chandelier is about 44 feet tall, 75 feet in diameter, so a pretty big chandelier. They say I found different numbers on how many beads there are, but somewhere between 2 and 7 million beads, and some numbers said that they had 21 miles of crystal bead lines going up and down around this bar. A pretty fancy place. They serve a lot of various strange drinks. I'm usually not much for mixing stuff together. I'm a beer guy usually, but in this bar I kind of go with the flow and have a strange drink every now and then when I'm there. So yeah, that's the backstory of this place. NR6H, back to Net.
Thanks, Anders. All those crystals, I'm wondering if you found any of those to use to build a radio. Anything hanging around that you took?
I'm not sure they're resonant, but maybe.
Exactly. Okay, here's the plan. I'm going to send an image next, then Kelly, K6ZK, then Larry, who's watching on YouTube, KD6GM, then Ken, N6KEN, and then Neil, KL7HQR. So I'm going to send an image right now, PD120. Okay, Bill, N6WLM, comments on my photo.
Yeah, Bill, N6WLM. Yeah, this beautiful photo came out very well on my end. Just a few pixel pops, but a very nice composure picture. I really like the bonfire in the middle of the photo there, surrounded by some chairs. It looks like an Airstream trailer maybe on the right, and the nice sunset. That's just a eerie glow in the background there. Looks like a very nice scene to go camping. Interested where this is taken at. N6WLM, back to Net.
Thanks, Bill. Alpha Echo 6, Juliet Golf. Kelly, Kilo 6, Zulu Kilo, comments on the photo.
Looks like a lovely night. I see probably what looks like a motorhome off to the right. Nice fire pit, chairs laid out. Looks like you're up on a plateau and overlooking the lights of a big city, maybe LA or something, or Palm Springs, doesn't matter. some chairs off to the left. By the way, great signal, just a few pixel pops, but all very clear. It looks like a lovely, lovely plant. You know, I'd love to stay there. But I'd love to know where I get. Okay, I'll wait then back to the net. This is K6EK.
Thanks, Kelly. My wife and I took a trip last week to see our daughter in San Diego, and this is actually a campground in Chula Vista, and we are looking at downtown San Diego, and to the left, where the lights are, is the Coronado Bridge. So it's a very nice place to hang out, and the only problem was the weather. But it was clear when we were there. It just rained a lot when we were traveling. Okay, Kelly, K6ZK, it's your turn to share an image if you're ready.
Okay, quick question. Is everybody using PD-120, or can let's do the Scotty 1. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. We've defaulted to PD-120. I don't know why, but Scotty 1 or whatever you want to use is totally fine. We like to experiment, actually.
Okay, this is going to come out at being set at Scotty 1.
Bob, N6PGQ, comment on Kelly's photo.
A very nice photo. Very few pixel pops. A little bit of land in the foreground. A nice clear lake. Not very much wind. Nice and smooth. Green trees on the right side. Green trees on the left, but in shadows. Nice rocky mountains with what looks like snow on it, and a nice day with some clouds. N6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. This is AE6JG. Anders, NR6H. Comments?
Excellent copy. Clear colors. Very few pops. Interesting moire pattern up in the sky. It almost looks like Captain Kirk is blasting radio waves from behind the mountain there. Very cool effect. If this was higher resolution, this would definitely be a postcard. Maybe it is a postcard. That's my theory. NR6H, back to net.
Thanks, Anders. Kelly, Kilo 6 Zulu Kilo, tell us about this photo.
Certainly, yeah. About, let's see, I'm thinking about 8 years ago, my wife and I flew into this lake. It's called Lake Lovely Water in British Columbia. You're looking at the Tantalus peaks in the background, and the lake itself is only about a kilometer long. I actually flew my float plane in here I was really worried about it because we came into a narrow notch and landed. You could see against the head wall that there was only a one-way in and one-way out. But we stayed at the Canadian Alpine Club, which is out of the view. But there's a little beach off to the left, and you can see that there's only one way. We took off the other way coming out. But anyway, it was a great trip. And by the way, that peak is very popular with Canadian climbers. They climb those ridges. That's a 10,000-foot head wall. Anyway, it was a great trip. I just pulled this up from my files. But, okay, over to the net, K6ZK.
Thanks, Kelly. That's a great story. Wow, that's really cool. Okay, Larry, I don't know if you're ready, KD6GMD, to share an image. I know you just got the tone. Can you let me know if you're ready or not?
Yeah, let me see if I got the repeater. Kilo Delta 6 Golf Mike Delta.
Yeah, we copy you loud and clear.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, go ahead. Thanks, Larry, KD6GMD. This is AE6JG. Ken, comments, N6KEN.
Yeah, N6KEN. Yeah, a couple balloons in front of what looks like a sailboat. No, that's not a sailboat. That's a building. Back to net.
Thanks, Neil, KL7HQR.
Roger, KL7HQR. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 apparently air balloons, hot air balloons in front of a building. There was some distortion in the picture. I noticed that the signal was not strongly holding the repeater all the time, so some distortion, but overall very intelligible and good picture. Over.
Thanks. Larry, KD6GMD, tell us about the picture and tell us, were you transmitting on Scotty 1 as well? What were you using?
Yes, I was using Scotty 1, but via microphone only. So yes, this is the Burj Al Arab in Dubai. I was invited to fly a hot air balloon and took this photo from our balloon as we flew away from, thank goodness, away from the water.
Wow, that is an amazing shot. When did you do that?
This was 2016, basically Christmas time, and a fun trip. We were there for a couple weeks, and this is one of the more memorable flights. Was taking off from near the water and flying away from the water. That Burj Al Arab, they charge you $50 to go across the bridge just to look at the hotel.
Wow, okay. And just to clarify or to confirm, you transmitted using audio coupling?
That's affirmative. KD6 Golf Mike Delta.
Copy. Thanks, Larry. Thanks for joining us tonight. Okay, Ken, N6KEN, it's your turn to share an image.
All right, and I'm going to do PD90 just to be different, N6KN. And of course I switched and it changed the picture 1 second.
Okay, and I know you're still learning how to, you got that new ICOM you're using, right?
Yeah, Roger, I think I got it down. I just, when you unfortunately with NS SSTV, when you change the format, it changes the resolution here. And I think I've got it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and send it.
That's an interesting picture, Ken. N6KEN, AE6JG. Bob, N6PGQ, comments?
Well, it looks like a military parade or exercise. There's a whole bunch of people in the back and dignitaries in the front with medals and microphones in front of them, and a whole bunch of DX stuff, QRZ and counties and things like that on the top. Quality's pretty good. Few pixel pops in the white part of the sky. Other than that, I'm going to, again, be interested to see what it is, N6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. Carol, KP4MD, comments? KP4MD. Well, Larry, KD6GMD, now that you're online with us, comments about this picture?
Looks like North Korea to me. Little parade, microphone, three microphones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys with more medals than they know what to do with.
Carol, KP, thanks, Larry. Carol, KP4MD, comments? Thanks. Carol, your sound's the best it's been tonight. Okay, Ken, tell us about this picture, N6KEN, and then Neil, KL7HQR. You'll be next.
A6JG in the group, N6KN. Yeah, this is a play on the North Korean Army with all their badges and comparing it to people on QRZ with all their badges. I saw this this past week and thought it was the funniest, so I thought I'd share. And good evening to KD6GMD Larry and K6ZK Kelly. By the way, I'm a fellow pilot, so little single engine land. But pleasure to meet you on the net. Back to net and 6KM.
Thanks, Ken. Okay, Neil, your turn. KL7HQR, AE6JG. Go ahead.
Okay, very well. Let me see if I have a tone here since I had a problem last week. Think we're good?
That was good, yeah.
Okay, here we go. PG120.
Wow, that's really interesting, Neil. An excellent copy. Joel, AI6DG.
So we've got a sketch or a drawing from looking out the window. It looks like it's winter because it looks like there's icicles on the windshield. We got a radio, old-style radio, sitting on a table with a bucket with a fire in it underneath it, I guess to keep the room warm. A little kerosene lantern on top of it. And a straight key coming out the front of it with a guy sitting in a chair bundled up inside a blanket, but he's still got his hand out and doing his CW. So it looks like he's a serious ham in that. It doesn't matter what's happening weather or power-wise, he's doing his hamming. Some things on the left of the radio I can't quite tell what are. Kind of looks like a propane tank that's going with the hose going somewhere, and a box with some knobs or buttons or dials or something on it. Back to net, AI6DG.
Thanks, Joel. I'm a little worried about the carbon monoxide in this room. Anders, NR6H.
Yeah, that was my thought also, that this guy, maybe that's why it looks like he's coughing, maybe? Is that what he's doing? But good reception, actually good enough to see that this was probably copied copied out of a magazine or something, because you can kind of see shadowy letters in the background and the yellow or paper-colored background there. So I think it might be from a magazine. That's my guess. NR6H back to net.
Oh, thanks. Kelly, K6ZK, comment?
Yeah, earlier description was perfect, by the way. The transmission came absolutely perfect. The only I did see when the repeater transmission call sign came through but anyway, as you pointed out, this is a very cold room that he's working out of, and I'd be worried about the carbon monoxide also. But I'm thinking that this came from the New Yorker magazine, one of those pen and ink drawings that we see that there's usually a description at the bottom. But anyway, it was very different, by the way. This is usually I see photos, but this particular almost a cartoon that came through. Anyway, that's my comment. K6ZK over to the net.
Thanks, Kelly. This is James, AE6JG. Neil was our last presenter. Any last comments before I close the net?
KL7HQR, just wanted to let you know that this is going through my old papers, and this was the cover of the Kilo Lima 7 Alpha Alpha, the Anchorage M2 Radio Club newsletter, which was mimeographed very carefully once a month, dated 25 January 1974 in Anchorage, Alaska. So I found it and found the issue, and it was interesting to read the papers, and I figured that it would be apropos to the weather that we have here. And before I pass to the net, my congratulations to the other two pilots. I'm also a very low single-engine and pilot. One of these days we should get together and chat. Back to net.
I might suggest, I'm going to close the net, but for those of you who just want to talk after I close the net, maybe you should. Neil, because your background with the Space Shuttle program, I think, would be interesting to others as well. So I am going to close the net. Thanks to all who participated in tonight's Slow Scan TV net. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. The net is officially closed at 10:09 p.m. This is James, AE6JG, wishing all of you a very good evening, and I'll stand by for any random discussion.
Yeah, N6WLM, if you're still there, N6KEN. I had a quick question. You mentioned the ICOM radio that you picked up, the dual band. I didn't catch the model number, if you can repeat that one.
AK6KN, November 6 Whiskey Lima Mike. It is a IC2330A dual bander, made in the 90s. Has 15 memory channels. No fancy bells and whistles, not even a mic gain, but it was cheap. I'll be able to do 220 finally.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, for some reason I heard 2300 Alpha, and I was like, no, that's not right. I don't see 220 on there. Yeah, appreciate you coming back to me.